Hey, welcome back. Before we get into the bullshit of all the trade and all that stuff, first things first, news just come in about an hour or so ago. Dolly Parton passed away, and wow, it really hit me. I was surprised how much it hit me. I actually cried. It's just weird. I think because she's just been a part of my life since a little kid. Riding in the car with my dad everywhere we went, hockey practice early in the morning, anywhere we went. Always the old country station on. I guess it was CFGM at the time or something like that. Of course it was. And Dolly Parton was always on there, and he always had the 8 tracks in the car and all that stuff. And uh, yeah, just Dolly's always been there. And she was a sweetheart of a lady. Anytime she was interviewed or anything, she never got mixed into politics, and just a fantastic lady, fantastic legend, just a legend, and quite the catalog of music. Everybody will be talking about her right now, and I won't go on and on, but I did get a chance when I was a teenager. I did a trip to the States and went through Tennessee and stopped in at Pigeon Forge, Tennessee to Dollywood, her own theme park. I had a blast there. It wasn't that huge, but there was a roller coaster there, and I went on it. And there were shows and stuff like that. And her brother, Randy Parton, I met him. He had a little show going on there. Not a big show. He was just playing live at, I guess it was under a glorified tent, and people would just hang out and listen to him play and buy his albums if you wanted to. I bought one. I've since lost it, but whatever. Uh, yeah, just that was a shocker. But she's 80, right? And she hasn't been well. Just one of those people you think is always going to be there. So rest in peace, Dolly. And I got a I got a copy of Best Little Whorehouse in Texas that I've been meaning to watch for a few years, and I gotta say she looked pretty mean in that movie. She looked smoking hot. Not bad. Of course, that was like 40 some odd years ago, right? So yeah, yeah. Wow, just so sad to see her go. And she was scheduled to have concerts and stuff like that that got put off. Wow. I'd rather talk about her than this bull crap of all the trade deals. But, anyways, we'll get into it in a sec. I'm trying some new stuff here. Oh, it is working. Okay. Trying new things with my recording equipment. So that's why I look freaky today. I'm using uh, I don't know what you call it, virtual background. That's weird. Anyway, so I haven't done a show since Saturday. I did 3 shows and just been sitting back and watching all the rhetoric going around through Facebook and the media and everything, and it's making my head spin. And I'm trying to make heads or tails of it. And all of a sudden, people that wouldn't do posts about political, well, everybody's posting, and you know most people aren't even posting their own opinions. It's all meme city. Everybody's just, hey, there's a meme, okay, that looks good, I'll post it. They're not even investigating things on their own. And even when you do, like, I've got clips of the politicians talking and everything, and you got to wonder who's lying, who's not, who's telling the truth, and somewhere in the middle, but it's funny how everybody all of a sudden is an expert on trade. And I admit I am not. I am the least bit, I'm the least smartest person on this. I have opinions, but I'm open to listening to all sides because there's a lot of different things going on that, I'm just trying to siphon through it. So we'll get to it in a sec. All right, so let's get into it. I got a clip from a couple of clips from Jameison GREER. It's probably been going around. Let's get into it.
Just remember how we started with all of this. The Canadians over a year ago, they prohibited the sale of American wine and spirits in their stores. They put limits on how many autos could go into Canada. And even before that, they restricted the sale of U.S. dairy into Canada. So lots of new and long-standing issues with Canada. After about a year of asking them to eliminate these, they said no. So we proposed some very tailored tariffs covering about 5% of what they send us. So pretty low amount in the grand scheme of things to have our own tariffs on those to counter out that retaliation. The Canadians came to us about a month ago. They said we'd like to negotiate. We didn't ask for it, but we said okay, we're happy to move forward in good faith, and we did, and they did. We progressed to a point Tuesday night where we had enough agreement among the parties to announce that we had found the way to a deal. Then we set about to finalize it, and then in the last hours, I think there were things that the Canadians just, they wanted more. We offered them the best access to the United States of any country in the world. Obviously, there's always going to be tariffs, and there's going to be that protection for American workers and companies. That's the president's trade policy. That hasn't changed. But we sought to accommodate the Canadians by giving them, by cutting tariffs in half on steel, on aluminum, and extensively reducing them on autos, and even on things like softwood lumber, accommodating some element of that. Things that are sensitive for the Canadians. They wanted more. I don't know if it was political for them. It certainly doesn't make economic sense, but perhaps for political reasons. They have some by-elections coming up. I don't know, but they came in and they wanted more, and we weren't prepared to do that.
So that's U.S. Trade Rep Jameison GREER, and I don't know. Do you believe him? I don't necessarily disbelieve him. I think Lutnick had something to do with screwing shit up, but I don't know. Like I said, we're all of a sudden experts, and until we see what was actually in the deal, the whole entire thing, nobody can really say. Everybody's speculating, right? So a lot of politicians in saying a lot of stuff, and a lot of people puffing their chest, a lot of rhetoric on both sides. I think there's more rhetoric going on from Canada than anything else. Well, okay, no. Let's not say that, because Trump is just going off the frickin' deep end. We'll get to everything in short order. However, there's no doubt in my mind that every time CARNEY starts looking bad in the polls and starts dropping in popularity, Orange Man Bad makes him look great again. So GREER was also interviewed again, and
What kind of retaliation is the U.S. planning to Canada's vow to retaliate dollar for dollar?
Oh, well, I'll just keep that to myself for now. We're preparing options for the president. Again, I think this is a little bit of a tempest in a teapot. The tariffs went into place over the weekend, which we warned about for a long time. They only cover about 5% of Canadian trade and only 0.06% of U.S. overall consumption. So we'll see. I mean, we're just moving forward with our trade policy as intended. The Canadians came to us about 30 days ago, said they want to negotiate. We said okay. Negotiations ended up not working out, so we're just continuing with our trade policy.
What is your message to small businesses who say they cannot absorb these costs, who are concerned about this?
Again, I think it was what I just mentioned. I mean, this is This covers 0.06% of U.S. consumption. The vast majority of goods that our small businesses trade in are made in the USA or they're duty-free. So this is something where we don't actually expect a huge impact. I mean, the Canadian situation may be different for them. I know they view it differently, of course, and that's fine. But for the U.S. small business, for the U.S. manufacturer, for the U.S. worker, this is a way for us actually to try to get wine and spirits back on the shelves in Canada. It's a way to make sure that our small dairy farmers who have had very limited access into Canada for a long time. So we're actually worried about our small businesses to make sure they get the kind of access they need.
And you're saying you're not worried
talks
about
are not on the books with Canada.
Right.
Why not? And what has to happen for negotiations to continue?
Well, I think you saw the Canadians' remarks on Friday that they suspended talks. So that's we respect that. I'm not going to. Again, they came to us a month ago and said we want to have negotiations. So we said okay. We don't have anything scheduled. I have the Mexicans coming in this week. I have the Mexican trade minister coming in Tuesday afternoon. They've been very constructive on the trade front. We've been able to resolve a lot of issues with them. They've been taking actions to protect their own market to try to get a hold of transshipment, which is something that we're worried about. So we'll see what conversations look like with them this week. Thanks, everybody.
Interesting. And then Carney paints it like the U.S. wanted to do something about our Quebec language. And that didn't sound right. And I saw another clip. I couldn't find it, actually. JAMEISON GREER saying that was funny and fake. So I don't trust Carney as far as I can throw him. He lies about everything. He lies about, he just lied about the Gordie Howe Bridge. He lies about his investments in the U.S. He lies about his involvement with Brookfield. Just a liar. But so is Trump. Good Lord. The only adult in the room is Polyev. I mean, he wants to reconvene Parliament immediately so that the politicians, our Canadian politicians, can sift through what these agreements were and to figure out where we should go. I can tell you what we should do, in my opinion, and I posted this on Facebook, and I see other people starting to say the same thing, is let's start free trade within our own country. Let's get rid of all the tariffs and taxes and red tape and BS with the interprovincial trade that we have here. Let's get rid of all that. Start with that first. Let's cut that out. Let's cut out the hold on. Sorry, my mind went blank there. I'm focused on something else other than what I'm doing right now. Let's cut all the regulations and all the bills that were passed by the Liberals over the last decade that kill our businesses, our manufacturing. Let's get going with our country. Let's build in our country. Let's dig in our country. Let's get the oil out of the ground. Let's get all these 500 projects that are just sitting there waiting for the Prime Minister's office to put the rubber stamp on. There's all these projects that the Prime Minister made a new office for these special projects, hasn't started a single one. He makes these announcements with the dams and all that stuff. All that stuff was in the works already. Today he made the announcement on the icebreakers in Quebec. Well, A, that's for votes. B, I actually support it. Good for him. See, I can do that. I'm a conservative, but I say good for him. We need the icebreakers. We need to get more access to the Arctic and for not the Navy. I'm stupid today. I can't think straight. I shouldn't even do a show. I I'm exhausted. I'll be honest with you. I've been busy the last couple of days doing a lot of physical stuff, and anyways, uh, icebreakers for the Coast Guard. That's what I'm trying to say, and also for other military uses. I mean, like, let's say Russia starts getting involved in the Arctic. Those icebreakers would come in handy if we need the U.S. to protect us in any way. Oh, yeah. We still rely on the U.S. to protect us, by the way. Don't forget about that. Okay, I'm back. Was I gone? Yes, I was. I had to take 5 and try to clear my head. I'm not sounding too smart. Not that I ever do, but sounding extra dumb today. So, here's Trump's response about how it's been um, kind of spilled around, turned around about how the U.S. wanted to do something about the Quebec culture. I don't know. Carney has not really explained that too well. Uh, as of me speaking right now, I have not heard any more clarification on it. So let's this is from CTV News, right?
Trump wrote, "I would never interfere with Canadians speaking French. In fact, I have never even thought of doing such a stupid thing. This lie was made up by a weak and ineffective prime minister in an attempt to gain political support, which he has totally lost from the people of Quebec. I love French Canadians." Trump wrote,
So is this all a political thing that Carney backed out of the talks? I mean, he had to initiate the talks. He was forced into it. He had no choice. Let's take it back a bit. He was elected based on his sole election promise was handling Donald Trump, was getting the best deal. That was a year and a half ago. He guaranteed us, he promised us all a deal by July 1st, 2025. Then that changed. Then it changed again. And then goofball Doug Ford, I did it again. I did this last time. Doug Ford put those ads out in the States, and that pissed off everybody and essentially ended the talks. But it was Canada that ended the trade talks in October. And apparently we were close to a deal then. And then nothing. And in that time, the U.S. added more tariffs. We retaliated initially. Carney retaliated initially, but then took the tariffs off before the election was even over, which he didn't tell us. So he conceded. So all this time, from October till now, it took until Trump threatened, and it's not right of him to do so, to put the 50% tariffs on us. It's wrong. Trump's an asshole. He's a dick. He's an idiot. Anything you want to call him. I agree with you. I am not a Trump supporter. Not on his side one bit. But I'm also not on Carney's. So he forced Carney into saying, hey, we better talk. And then he does the talks, and then he walks out. So was it for political reasons, because of the by-elections, to gain support in Quebec? kind of convenient that he announces the icebreaker deals, $11 billion. Coincidence? This man does not do coincidence. He's smart. He's too smart. He's calculated. I don't know. Was it a bad deal? I can't tell you that. I wasn't there. I can't see the deal. We're going by what everybody else is saying. And I don't think anybody's really telling 100% truth. But then again, you look at this rhetoric that comes out. Trump just never stops. Trump wants to rename Lake Ontario to Lake America. Like it just never ends. It just never ends. It's stuff like this that galvanizes the liberal supporters around Carney. And that makes them blind to see what Carney is really all about. Carney is a shyster. So is Trump. They're cut from the same cloth. I really don't think the liberal supporters understand that Carney's wife doesn't live in Canada. His kids don't live in Canada. They go to school in the U.S. His wife lives in the U.S. Carney's 90% invested in the U.S. He moved the headquarters of Brookfield to the U.S. to avoid paying taxes in Canada. He calls himself European, and then he wants to make deals and become part of the European Union. Fuck off. Now, my opinion, and this is based on just my thoughts, no solid facts. The fact that the U.S. wanted to control who Canada trades with, I think it all has to do with China. And they said so. They don't want Canada to be a dumping ground for Chinese products that'll make their way into the U.S. as a back door. They said so. They admitted it. They don't want us in bed with China, the enemy. That Mark Carney, when the elections were going on, admitted Canada or China was our biggest threat. But we're in bed with them deeper and deeper. It doesn't make sense. And the U.S. does not want us deeper and deeper in bed with China. And neither do I. I'd rather be with our biggest partner and the people that are actually going to watch out for us in case we're ever invaded by anything. Because Lord help us, we can't defend ourselves. So this episode's getting long in the tooth, and here's a meme for you since they're going around a lot. Can anyone explain how a drama teacher with the IQ of a potato was able to secure a trade deal with Donald Trump, but a Harvard and Oxford educated economist and central banker can't figure it out? Okay, we'll end it with one quick joke. Hey, look at that. I look freaky. I look like an apparition. One quick joke and then we'll end this show. I read that giraffes can grow up to 18 feet. The ones I've seen only have 4. I love this one. Anyways, I got more stuff to get to, but this episode is getting too long as it is, so I might do some more. We'll see how it goes. Thanks for spending time with me, and hey, you don't have to agree with me. Leave your comments down below. Hit like, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts. I want to hear them. I want to know what you're thinking. Because everybody's got something to say right now, that's for sure. Anyways, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and God bless. We'll see you soon.